Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Shop Adventures. I'm the Athletic Geek, and wow, last week was a big one with Free Comic Book Day. I still haven't even read all of the Bounty. I've read all of the pull lists, but all the other comics that I bought, the free ones, the one-shots, the bundles, all that stuff, I still haven't got through them. Eventually I will. Eventually I'll do a review. Got so much stuff on the horizon for this channel, with not only from the comic world, but from the wrestling world. It's ridiculous. But we're here on the Comic Shop Adventure. We are in the now, and pretty much from all the books last week, the one that stuck to me was Nightwing. It had a really, really good story. It had a really, really crazy, disturbing ending. Disturbing, in a lighter sense, with all the different comic books that have been out there, but for a book that I have criticized in the past of only reading because I love Dick Grayson, I just need my fix of that character. This issue, which is the beginning of any story arc, or that issue I should say, really very good, and it's the one that I remember the most out of everything on my pull list, so hopefully they keep that momentum going forward, and hopefully that for a character that means so much to me, like Nightwing, like Dick Grayson, hopefully his book is not just something that I get because of the character. Hopefully it has as great of a story to back it up as well. Other books are pretty good. The first part of Jason Aaron's Avengers run, it was alright. I mean, I was kind of hoping it would have knocked my socks off a little more, but it is the first issue. It is a new story arc, so we'll see what happens from there. Captain America 701, it is the new story arc for Captain America. It was okay. I like the art, but I mean, with all due respect to the current artist on Captain America, he ain't no Chris Samnee. But, that's not a slide on the guy, but I just really like Chris Samnee's artwork. But those were kind of what stunned me, but Nightwing was where it was at. But I'm going to head on off on this comic book adventure. I'm going to head to the shop, and I will be back with you with my bounty when I get back to the homestead. See you later. Hey everyone, it's the Athletic Geek back at the homestead here at Athletic Geek HQ, and we have a interesting little bounty from this week's Comic Shop Adventure. We're going to start on the DC side of things here with Justice League No Justice number 1 of 4. This is the Scott Snyder Justice League story that's kind of spinning out of the Dark Knight's Metal miniseries. I love Scott Snyder, and interested to see his take on the Justice League. And even if they are different Justice Leagues per se, I'm very interested to see how he writes this. I mean, I'm seeing Martian Manhunter, Superman, Sinestro, Starfire. I mean, it's a really cool looking cover, and it'll be an interesting story, I believe. So that's how we start off on the DC side of things. And then we go to Detective Comics, number 980. I've been a big fan of Detective Comics ever since the DC Rebirth. This story they're doing right now, I talk about it every time the book comes out. So if you're a regular watcher, you know exactly how excited I am about this book. But for those who have not seen an episode yet, pretty much with Detective Comics, the focus isn't so much just on Batman himself, but rather the whole Batman family, the whole Batman team, Batwoman, Red Robin. Clayface was part of it at one point in a very, very interesting and heartbreaking story being told there. But now the team's almost split, and it's very, very interesting, and I love it. And it continues to be one of the best books at DC. The Batman books as a whole are pretty good, especially with what I mentioned, before the trip started with Nightwing. I'm very optimistic about the future of the Batman books at DC. So, Detective 980. Then we go to Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 44. This is I mentioned before, that I'm a fan of this book. It's not, and this is not a knock on the book, it's not as good as the Green Lanterns title, but it's still a very, very good book. It's almost similar to how in the past there was the main Green Lantern title by Johns was obviously number 1, but Tomasi Wright and Corps was, very, very good as well. And, while there maybe, you could have said there is a clear-cut number 1, that isn't a slight on how good the number 2 book in the line is. And The Dark Star Rising has been a pretty interesting story so far, and there's another group out there to challenge the Green Lantern Corps as, you know, the law of the law of the universe, and it's kind of pretty interesting. But you know, I'm a big Green Lantern fan, and you know, when Green Lantern has good books out there, he's a damn good character. And then we finally come to the last book from DC this week, The Flash, number 46. And I remember last week talking about how this was one of my, you know, before the trip started, mentioning that the last issue was a very, very good book. You know, I'm really excited to see where this story keeps going with the Wally that took over for Barry after Crisis. He's back, and he's been back in main continuity since Rebirth, and you know, now he's really getting more of a story around him, and you know, but they still have Barry, so it's kind of like they found a way with the Flash books to kind of have their cake and eat it too, where you can get the new Wally, you know, the African American Wally that has, you know, since become a big part of the lore, especially because that's the Wally, you know, that they're kind of using in the TV show. But then they also get to have Barry for the fans of Barry, and now they've brought the Wally from my childhood back as well. So the Flash, because of the multiple Earths and the Speed Force and everything, they've kind of found a nice way to, with characters, they could kind of have their cake and eat it too. And Flash has always been a good book. Like I said, it's always kind of it's a sleeper book that you don't hear a lot about, but it's consistently very well done. So looking forward to reading this. Then we go to the Marvel side of things, and there are only 2 Marvel books this week. This is, at least I would hope, because it was a $5.99 price tag on it. The End of the Marvel Universe Kills Deadpool. It is the Despicable Deadpool number 300. And I believe this, I've said, and maybe the conclusion's coming, not doing my due diligence and research, but just kind of talking. But I believe this might be the actual end of this story arc. And, you know, like I said, Dugan has wrote this character so well, and you know, it's kind of not with the Deadpool movie coming out next week. You know, kind of maybe this would be a nice little bow on at least this storyline. I don't know if it's going to be his run, but at least this storyline. Yeah, it's just been really, really good. It's not like nothing really deep, but I mean, it's just been had the good balance between a good story, good humor, the violent action that you need to make a good Deadpool story. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed this story arc and his run. So, hopefully this isn't the end, but if it is, you know, thank you for a great run. It was amazing. So, looking forward to reading this one. And then finally, Old Man Logan, number 39. With a lot of books, like I love the Old Man Logan character, so I just keep buying it. But it's not really knocked my socks off in quite some time. But you know, I like getting my fix of Old Man Logan, and you know, maybe that's the wrong thing to do, but you know, I really like this character, and I really want to keep reading it. So hopefully it'll pick back up. Hopefully it can reach the potential that I know it can. But I mean, I've probably been saying that for the last couple weeks now, so who knows. But yeah, Old Man Logan number 39, we'll just see what comes. But that's all for the comic books. And then we got, on the collectible standpoint, I managed to get one of these. I got a nice little Marvel Legends Captain America, a Chris Evans Captain America. I have one back here on the shelf. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's kind of there. Like, there's my original one that I got at Wizard World Chicago from about 3 years ago. That was for the Winter Soldier Captain America movie. So I kind of thought this would, with the change in shield and with no mask, I thought this would look cool, being a you know, Infinity War Captain America go along with it. And on a nice little sidebar, I didn't get this one from the comic shop itself, but I remember I had to, coming back home, I stopped in at Walgreens to get some medicine and get some water. It's a pretty hot day over here today, and I just happened to see that they have this Walgreens exclusive Fantastic Four Human Torch on the shelf, and this is the only one I got. You know, there's, I believe all the Fantastic Four are Walgreens exclusive, but Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, has always been my favorite member of the Fantastic Four, and I do not have a figure, or did not have a figure of him up until this point, so... Yep, it's going to look really cool on this, on the shelf behind me, and while this was not picked up on the Bounty of the Comic Shop Adventure, but it still pretty cool, and going to be a great addition to the collection. So that is it for what I picked up at the comic shop today as it for my pull list. I'd love to know what you got on your trip to the comic shop this week. If you got some cool collectibles, what was on your pull list, what trades or classic books you picked up, anything that you might have got in the world of comics, let me know about it in the comments section below. Go like my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/athleticgeek89. It's updated almost daily with comics, games, wrestling, all things geek culture. That's your stop for it. Engage in the discussions, and as for me, I'm out. Have a good weekend. Later.